supplementary questions. That concludes oral questions. Would some honourable member care to move that the House take note of miscellaneous business? The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Thank you. Well, I don't know about the rest of the House, but I'm actually almost embarrassed for Clare Curran. I'm actually not kidding. I'm almost embarrassed for her because that was actually a general shambolic display of how a minister should actually be able to control herself and answer questions in this House. So the fact that she stands there and repeatedly says that her Gmail was available for her staff is simply, I find, to be further from the truth. When she answered questions that said she had not had meetings, that she has then had to come out to the Prime Minister and say that she did have, and her staff knew nothing about it, did not have access to that information, and one has to ask the question, why was she doing government business through her Gmail instead of through the normal channels that would be expected? And the fact, I hadn't planned on standing up here and starting my general debate like this, but actually the fact that that was so poorly answered and with such obvious discomfort, one has to simply call it out for what it is, and it is someone with something else to hide. I'm sorry, but it is someone with something else to hide. And it will be the Prime Minister who rues the day that she didn't stand up with courage of the high standards that she should be setting for her Cabinet Ministers and actually cut her loose right then and there. We also notice the Prime Minister will not answer questions on Meka Whaitiri. We saw it yesterday. When was she advised that there was an issue? When did Meka Whaitiri tell her that there was an issue? Has she asked her what actually happened? Can she trust her at her word as to what happened? If she can't, that woman should not be in her job. What the Prime Minister doesn't understand, this is not an employment issue, this is an issue of a Prime Minister trusting someone enough to give them a warrant to hold one of the highest positions of trust in this country. And any of the previous 3 Prime Ministers that I've known would have sat her down, looked her in the eye and told me exactly what happened, made a judgment as to whether or not that is a standard that she will accept in her Cabinet and have made a call on it. To kick it for touch for 2 to 3 to 4 weeks and then hide behind employment issues because she hasn't got the courage to stand up as an actual boss.
Order. I let the member go once. She is not. She is going to withdraw and apologise for the words.
I withdraw and apologise. To stand up and not have the conviction of the high standards that she should have with her ministers is absolutely disgraceful. To hide behind employment issues, to hide behind yet another investigation or yet another one of these working groups that will work out what actually happened, I challenge the Prime Minister to stand up and have standards for both Clare Curran and for Meka Whaitiri. The best one has to be Mike Williams going out there, the great bastion Mike Williams of the Labour Party, and saying it's not Meka Whaitiri's fault. What it is, Ministerial Services, because Ministerial Services did not give training to ministers in how to manage staff. So we want them to have, what, $280,000 salaries. We want them to be responsible for millions of dollars and potentially millions of people's lives as they go about their business. But they need training to not physically assault staff. Yeah, they need to actually be told it is not appropriate to actually to speak to staff disrespectfully or to allegedly assault them because they haven't got the means to do that. So they need training from Ministerial.
There have been a series of interjections which I think are unhelpful from the government benches. I think that sort of accusation against a former member who is not here to protect herself is something which is not appropriate.
Feeling a bit uncomfortable, I think we can see quite clearly, about the truth finally coming out and the gloves coming off and the big shade of fairy dust actually starting to settle and not look quite as glossy as it did a little while ago. And then, of course, we have that wonderful gift that keeps on giving, which is a coalition government that the left doesn't know what the centre, what the middle might actually be doing. So where are we at, as by the way, on refugee numbers? So are we at 1,000? Are we at 6,000? I hear 6,000 from the Green Party and then counted by 1,000.
I apologise for interrupting the member. We've had a clock problem. She has about 30 seconds to go.
Oh, there is a lot going on as far as we can look at. Exactly where they stand. Who's going to blink first? Come on, let's put some money on. I mean, let's be honest, the Greens are out. No one's listening to them. They haven't got any real stance in this. So here we've got, will Labor fold? Amy Adams calling Labor will fold, and it will be 1,000. Someone said maybe 1,250, they'll compromise. I reckon Winston, as he constantly reminds them, this is the position of power.
The Honourable Procedural. Order! No, the member will resume his seat. When I call order, I expect order, not ongoing defiance. If it happens again, there'll be some serious consequences for the members involved. Phil Twyford, starting again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good to see a leadership bid come forth